let's get right into it.
Number 7. Every kid hits you with this one eventually, usually while you're just trying to enjoy a sandwich or stare blankly at a wall. On the surface, it feels like the world's easiest question. The sky is blue because, well, it just is, right? But no, science had to swoop in and ruin the picnic by telling us about something called Rayleigh scattering, which sounds less like physics and more like an indie folk band. Here's the short version. Sunlight isn't white, it's actually a messy rainbow of different wavelengths. When that light crashes into Earth's atmosphere, the shorter, bluer wavelengths scatter like confetti at a toddler's birthday party. Red light is lazy and just plows straight through, but blue light ricochets everywhere, coating the entire sky in a cosmic paint job. But then comes the follow-up question. If the sky is blue during the day, why does it suddenly turn into a lava lamp of orange and purple during sunsets? That's when the sunlight is traveling through way more atmosphere, so the blue gets scattered out of your line of sight, and the reds and oranges finally get their chance to shine. Literally. Of course, try explaining that to a 6-year-old. By the time you're halfway through wavelengths of visible light, they have already wandered off to eat crowns. Which, by the way, is its own scientific mystery. But that's another countdown. Basically, the sky is blue because your eyeballs are catching scattered scraps of sunlight, and sunsets are just the sky putting on its pajamas.
Number 6. The ultimate bedtime grenade. Right as you're tucking in your child, they whisper, "But why do we dream?" And just like that, science collapses into a fetal position. Because here's the thing. We still don't know. We've got theories, sure. Some scientists say dreams are your brain's way of cleaning house, like a cosmic Roomba sweeping up stray thoughts and half-baked anxieties. Others claim dreams are evolution's rehearsal space, where your mind simulates what-if scenarios, so you don't completely screw up when a tiger jumps out at you in real life. Which is super helpful today, when the only tiger most of us face is our boss sending emails at 10 p.m. There's also the idea that dreams are just your neurons firing randomly, like a busted neon sign buzzing in the night. And your brain, being the overachieving drama queen it is, tries to stitch those sparks into some kind of narrative. That's how you end up on a roller coaster with Abraham Lincoln while your middle school gym teacher shouts at you in fluent Dolphin. And yet, despite all the MRI scans, sleep studies, and philosophy papers, science still hasn't nailed down the why of dreaming. Which means the next time a kid asks you, you can either shrug, like a coward, or admit, because your brain gets bored when you're unconscious. In other words, dreams are basically Netflix for your sleeping mind. Half entertainment, half horror show, and 100% glitching.
Number 5. This is one of those deceptively simple questions that kids drop on you like a pebble, except it lands like a bowling ball on your brain. Because the easy answer is, fish? Tears? But no, science has receipts. See, every time it rains, water flows over rocks and soil, picking up tiny bits of minerals. Water, but it leaves all that mineral junk behind. Do that for a few billion years and voila, giant planetary soup seasoned to perfection. Earth is basically one enormous crock pot, and it forgot to set a timer. But here's where it gets weird. The ocean isn't just salty, it's perfectly salty. The levels have balanced out over eons because new minerals flow in while others get trapped in sea life or on the ocean floor. Think of it like a giant bank account where the deposits and withdrawals always match. Except instead of money, it's a swirling brine of dissolved rocks. Delicious! Now, imagine explaining this to a kid. Well, Timmy, the ocean is salty because the planet is a giant Brita filter that forgot to change its cartridge. Watch their eyes glaze over as they go back to eating sand, which, ironically, is just future ocean salt waiting for its big break. So yes, the ocean tastes like someone overdid the seasoning, and it'll stay that way until the end of time.
Number 4.
The universal glitch. Yawning is contagious, unavoidable, and guaranteed to show up in the middle of the most boring Zoom call you'll ever attend. But why do we do it?
This is where science shrugs again. One theory says yawning helps cool down your brain, like opening a window when your laptop is overheating. Another theory claims it's a leftover survival instinct, a way for early humans to signal to each other, "Hey, I'm tired. Maybe we should stop poking saber-toothed cats with sticks." And then there's the social theory. Yawning spreads through groups because it syncs people up. Like, if you see someone yawn, your brain says, "Oh, we're tired now? Cool, me too." It's the laziest kind of group project. But here's the kicker. Scientists still can't fully agree. Some argue it's a mix of all three theories. Others think it's just your body's way of saying, "Congratulations, you're alive and oxygen is a thing." Meanwhile, you're stuck awkwardly yawning in a meeting while your boss thinks you're silently screaming at them. So, why do you yawn? Because your body is confused, bored, and overheating, all at once. Basically, you're a smartphone with too many apps running.
Number 3. Ah yes, the final boss of childhood questions. The one every parent dreads and every scientist knows is way more complicated than a stork with good cardio. You could go full biology mode. Sperm meets egg, embryo grows. 9 months later, boom, baby. But kids don't just want the technical blueprint. They want to know the why. And that's when science starts sweating like it's in an exam it forgot to study for. Because explaining reproduction means explaining evolution. Why do we make babies? Because genes want to survive. Every living thing is basically a USB drive carrying DNA, desperately trying to back itself up before the computer crashes. You're not just having kids because you like them. You're part of a 4 billion-year relay race where life keeps passing the baton and hoping nobody drops it. And then there's the awkward reality that biology doesn't always match human culture. Families come in all shapes: adoption, IVF, surrogacy, blended families. Suddenly, where do babies come from isn't just science, it's philosophy, sociology, and a little bit of therapy. So when a kid innocently asks the big one, the real answer is, well, it's complicated, which is the same answer scientists have been giving since forever.
Number 2.
Kids ask this like it's a casual quiz, but the truth is brutal. Everything alive runs on a timer. Cells divide, and every time they do, the DNA end caps, telomeres, get shorter until the cell basically retires. Add in molecular bullies called free radicals punching holes in your cells, and your repair system eventually gives up. From evolution's perspective, your job is to pass on your genes and then exit stage left. Some animals cheat aging, but humans got stuck with repair systems that eventually clock out. Then entropy, the universe's everything falls apart law, finishes the job. For kids, the simple version. Your body is like a toy with batteries. They run out and there's no charger. So yeah, death is biology, physics, and evolution all agreeing on one thing. Make room for the next weird thing to happen.
Number 1.
This one takes a cozy living room and turns it into a philosophy class. Thoughts come from neurons, tiny brain cells zapping each other with electricity and chemicals. Millions fire together, and sometimes the chaos forms something coherent, like "I want pizza." Your brain's default mode network kicks in when you're zoning out. Memories mix with emotions, and suddenly you've got daydreams, plans, or shower epiphanies. There's no little person in your head steering, just patterns emerging from the noise. The kicker? Your brain often makes decisions before you even realize it. You're not always the driver, just the passenger with opinions. Tell kids this. Thoughts are like clouds. Tiny pieces come together until, boom, you get dinosaurs, shopping lists, or bad song lyrics stuck in your head.